We're going to let you start coming into the Zoom call here and the chat and everything. So just want to thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate you being here. We're going to give everybody just a few seconds here to get online and get live. Please pay attention to the fact that your mics are muted. If you've been with us before, you're already aware and comfortable with that. If you're not, then you need to know that your mics are muted. Everybody except Amy, who I'm hearing talking in the background, but that's okay. So Amy and Mark Ye are with us in the studio today. We've got Joyce Lopez from Celebrity Cruises, who will be joining us here on the Zoom call. We'll be talking a little bit more about that in just a second. So as you join us today, it's good to have all of you. I hope you're having a great week after Easter. I know that many of you are exhausted and tired from all the many events of Holy Week, but I know that they were profound and meaningful and hopefully exciting for you as you got to do that. For some of you, it may have been the first time in a while, a couple of years even, that you got to celebrate your Easter celebration in person as a church. And so I know that our pastor was talking about the fact that even though the crowd wasn't what it has been in years past, it was the biggest crowd he had seen in a long time. And he's been serving that church now going on his third year. And this was the first time he felt like it was the full Easter celebration, simply because 2 years ago they weren't in person at all, and last year it was very limited, and so it was a great day. So I hope that everybody had that great experience and a profound moment. So I want to just give you a couple minutes here for everybody to get on board, and we'll be going into our webinar here in just a second. But thanks once again for being with us. Really appreciate it. You taking the time to be it, and excited about all the things we've got to talk with you about today. We're going to go through a general travel update here this morning in just a minute. We're going to have, as I said earlier, Joyce Lopez from Celebrity Cruise Line, who will be here with us answering some things about Celebrity and some of the upcoming stuff there, cruising in general. Amy and Mark are in the studio there. You can see them. They're going to be talking to us about our 2023 Bible Land cruises. James is going to be bringing us an Oberammergau update. And then I'll be talking about all the different FAMs that we've got coming up and encouraging you to do that. So thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and get started, okay? Things are looking good, folks, across all of our destinations travel-wise. There's so much going on right now. So many places that we've got people who are going, so we're excited about that. We really are appreciative of all of our hosts and our passengers, our guests who are sticking out there and finally able to travel. So hope that you'll start posting some pictures and hashtag EO, hashtag travel with us, so that we can see some of the things you're doing on Facebook and see some of the great events that you're getting to do, be a part of, participate in. James is not in the studio today. He's in Innsbruck. He's setting up our Oberammergau team there in our office as we get ready for the start of the Passion Play. He's going to be joining us just a bit later in our broadcast. Hard to believe, but time to register for the Passion Play is running out. It's here. It's going to start in a month. So I'll be heading personally over in just over a month to there. James and Ashley and Joanne are there now, and others are meeting there. So exciting time. So we do have time, though, still to register for some of the different ones. We've got some openings on some of the different ones, and we'll talk about a little bit later today as we get into the webinar. You might remember that I spent most of February and a big part of March in the Holy Land, and I had the opportunity to stay in Bethlehem for the first time. I'm a bit embarrassed to admit to you that before this trip, and all my travels to the Holy Land, I had never spent the night in Bethlehem. It had just never been a part of the itinerary, and I had never done it. What we're finding out is that more and more of our hosts really want to do that. And so this time, while I was there, I got a chance to actually go to Bethlehem, spend a night in one of our hotels there that we work with. And I wanted to take you there, show just a moment of what that hotel is like. So watch this video.
Nabil Abdurrahman. I'm originally from Bethlehem. We are producing textiles here since 40 years, and we moved to hospitality since 3-4 years. We built a new hotel here in Bethlehem. St. Joseph, we have here 150 rooms, 6 buses, almost 300 people. First of all, it's a new hotel, a new concept, clean, spacious. You can see all the city all around. It's 360 degrees. You can see Bethlehem, you can see Jerusalem around, you can see even Jordanian capital. It's a high building.
I'm Pastor Tom Beck from Marco Island, Florida, Marco Lutheran Church. I live in Naples, just 15 minutes up the road. The hotel, I mean, it's fantastic. You know, it's clean, it's new. You know, St. Joseph Hotel is a great place, and we met the owner, fantastic guy. The lobby is spacious, the rooms are open, plenty of sleeping area. You know, they're clean, and well, the fact that it's new is so nice, right? By the way, the beds, excellent. No trouble sleeping. Had a good night's sleep, woke up in the morning fresh and ready to go.
So we have a bar here, up to 50%. We can accommodate whatever they want. Of course, we have meeting room up to 120%. 2 groups can sit together. If they are more, we are preparing them the dining room. Dining room, all the people can sit together. We have 300 chairs. It's very spacious, very clean, all varieties of food. Some nights we have 6-7 nationalities. It's not an easy job.
Great breakfast, you know, lots of choices between supper last night and breakfast this morning. The food was fantastic, and just really enjoyed it, and enjoyed the flavor of it, not just the taste, but the flavor of it being local foods and so on. So that was pretty neat. The staff is great. You know, we went down to eat, and the people were just so nice and very helpful. I mean, it's a buffet meal, and they're coming out and they're asking us what we want and helping us get additional things on our plates and stuff like that. It's a great experience for tourists. From a standpoint of safety, I had zero issue.
They can walk freely around the city. They can go to see Nativity Church by night, Old City. We have a museum around us. It's safe, no problem. And we are waiting for you all to come to visit Bethlehem, to visit the Nativity Church, and spend nights here to see our culture, our food, and to help the local community here.
Thanks for that video. I'm smiling and laughing because in my stay in Mark and Amy, you guys will get a kick out of this since you know the player involved. When we were in Bethlehem, we were starting the FAM tour for this year. For our hosts, our FAM tour there. And I had with me our Director of Human Resources, Stephanie Apple, and she was with us on the trip. And the first morning, we get out of the hotel, we get on the bus, and we get almost to Shepherd's Field, and I'm counting folks on the bus and talking. I said, has anybody seen Stephanie? I left her at the hotel the very first morning. So I haven't heard the end of that one yet, by the way. And my smart aleck comment was, well, what are they going to do? Fire me? But she is the human resources director. So I guess that could have been a possibility. So, but do one more.
At least a write-up.
Yeah. Don't let Tom be the bus captain.
No more. On my host profile, they'll mark Tom Smith, not acceptable bus captain. Yes. So, yeah, leave one person behind the first one. So I'm excited to have Joyce Lopez here with us today. Joyce, thank you for being with us. Joyce is from Celebrity Cruise Line. You're known as J-Lo too. Wow, that's hard to live up to, I guess. Well, I've been 20 years in the industry. Most of that was celebrity. So thanks for being here with us today, Joyce.
Thank you, guys. Actually, I'm known as Celebrities J-Lo, and a little fact is that I was the original J-Lo, not because I'm older, but because when I started at Celebrity Cruises 22 years ago, I started in the air department. And for those people that know air, you have to end and retrieve your records with RF, and then there was already a JL, so I had to add the O. So I was even my email, jlo@celebrity.com. Everything has been JLo for 22 years. So yes, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So we're excited. You know, maybe you should talk to the other J-Lo and say, oh, you know, kind of infringed you just a little bit, girlfriend. And so, well, you know, great news, Joyce. I mean, it's great to be talking about cruising again, and the CDC has eliminated their cruise warning. So what are you guys at Celebrity? How are you responding to that?
So although the CDC has eliminated the cruise warning, it doesn't mean that COVID-19 has gone away or that we shouldn't continue to practice safety. So as a precautionary measure and always making sure that your guests are safe on board out of an abundance of caution, we have rules still in place to make sure that we keep people safe on board. So for example, for Italy and Rome and different places that you're visiting, there's going to be different rules, but we're going to continue to keep it strict because we want to make sure that your guests have a wonderful time on board and that they're safe. So for your group that's going to be sailing on the Constellation in May, they do have to have a test 24 hours before they sail. They are able to go online and purchase the Binax now and have their in-home testing, or they will be provided the test on board, and they'll just have to pay for it there. It's $55. But again, everything is out of an abundance of caution. So even though they've dropped it, we're still maintaining our strict protocols in place.
Now I understand. I'm sailing, and we'll talk a bit about that later on Saturday on the Apex with you. And this afternoon, I'm going to get my antigen test.
Yes.
I'll have
the
that.
good thing though is that you don't have to. Masks are optional; they're not required, which is wonderful. The restricted passenger count, we don't have a number per se, but currently we're not sailing at 100%. We're still, at least for this sailing in particular, the ship's capacity is 3,000. We have just over 2,000 guests on board. So, it still feels really nice to have the ship to yourself, per se.
Yeah. And I think that the buffet lines and stuff, we still have the big smorgasbord option, but not serve yourself.
Correct. On board a Celebrity cruise, you will have, even on the Ocean View Cafe, which is what people call the buffet, we have Ocean View Cafe. Everybody is serving you, so you're not touching anything. And we have the wash your hands station right in the front, and we have the sanitizers all over. We have people that are holding the sanitizer, making sure as you walk through that you sanitize your hands.
So do you have a training class for people who say washy washy?
That's our partner, Royal Caribbean. They have the song, okay. Just sticks in your head. They have the wash your hands song. Yeah, it's great. It's catchy.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So you've been in the industry 22 years now?
Yes, 22 years in March.
Okay. So how has cruising changed during that time for guests, J-Lo?
Well, at least for Celebrity, we used to have what was called the white glove service, and as you walked in, still a lot of those things are in place. But just to give you an example, before we had the formal nights, right? We had 2 formal nights. People would wear their tuxedo, it's very dressy. Now we have what's called evening chic, where you don't have to get as dressed up. I mean, don't ask me, Tom, because I love to dress up. I'm always in my heels and in my dress, so that doesn't apply to me. I love to dress up, but it's not a necessity. It's not a requirement that you dress up. All that they ask is that you don't have ripped jeans and flip-flops in the dinner, in the dining room. But other than that, you're okay with the relaxed dress code. As far as the muster drills go, those are a thing of the past, right? You don't have to wear the life vest and go sit. Now you can download the Celebrity Cruises app. You can do the muster drill on your phone, basically watch the video on your own leisure. For those people that don't have a smartphone, they can watch the video in their stateroom, and then they go to their muster station just to check in. It literally takes them minutes to go there, check in, and you'll get to experience that on Saturday. It's such a seamless process. It's called Muster 2.0, and it's the best thing ever because it just doesn't inconvenience your vacation by having to congregate in one place with other people and wait for everyone to get there. That's the thing of the past. It's super, super quick and convenient.
Yeah, on our celebration cruise, I got to do the Muster 2.0 and use my app and stuff, and it was pretty amazingly quick. And being one who lost his card at the first muster drill. You know, as soon, we got on board the ship, went to muster, and I lost my card from the door. You know, and my wife did not let me live that down the rest of the trip. She was just wanting to, you know, have you got your card?
Well, now for those people that want to use the app, they're able to have their phone be their key. You know, so that's an option as well. You know, you're also able to, when you're on board, there's so many activities and amenities that we offer. For those people, everywhere that you dine on board a Celebrity Cruises, the food is exceptional. But for those people that want that additional experience of trying our specialty dining restaurant, my ultimate favorite is Eden, because it really is a culinary journey. As you walk in, it's a 5-course meal, and the food, it doesn't only look good, but it tastes so good. So, I mean, you have that additional, you know, you have it there additional for you if you're interested in it. As far as the activities go, we have shows every night. We have different entertainers in the main atrium where the Martini Bar is. You'll have the Martini Bar Flair show where they do the lights, and you know, it's just, there's something to do every day. You can do as much or as little as you like, but there really is this downtime that we took, this pause. We really focused on working on our entertainment on board and how can we beef it up, how can we make it better, and just we've done a phenomenal job, and you'll get to experience that on Saturday. But also, what else? For those that want to do those things and they want to add amenities to their, you know, hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay, good.
There you are.
It kind of froze. I don't know if you can see me. Okay, so for those that want to add the additional amenities, they're able to do it. They can go on Pre-Cruise Planner. If they go to celebritycruises.com, they go to Already Booked, and they can go in there and add, you know, anything that they would like to add, or even on their phone with their app. So they're able to do that.
Yeah, I know. I love the pre-cruise planning online. I mean, that makes it so nice to be able to add, you know, your Wi-Fi, which I need desperately, you know, or a drink package, soda package, coffees, schedule your specialty dining. That's pretty awesome, Taylor. I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so now EO, we've been doing biblical cruising for 25 years. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, it's pretty exciting, and it's been very meaningful for a lot of people. My first cruise ever was on an EO biblical cruise, and we're in the Mediterranean and loved it. And my wife got hooked on cruising. That became her favorite mode of transportation. But why is it such a fantastic way, cruising, for our pastors and group leaders to expose their congregants, their guests, their friends to the Bible lands?
Well, the number one reason I would say that there's so much ease in visiting multiple countries, right? You only have to fly maybe one time to get to the destination, and then we're visiting different countries, so you're only unpacking once, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about, hey, our shore excursions, are they going to be available when we get on? Will we be able to get on this excursion that we want? Why? Because EO has these exclusive Bible-focused guides, locations, and themes that are already curated for the guests once they board, right? You guys plan 16 to 18 months in advance, or when you're taking out this group space, you make sure that all the meeting space it maintains private, that even though you have your main speakers, also if there's some congregations or some pastors that are joining that group, that they also have their breakout meetings if necessary, besides having your exclusive speakers. So, I mean, that's what makes it so special and unique of working with your company, because you guys get it. You are the experts. You've been doing it for so long, and you do it so seamless.
Well, thank you. That's very, very good to hear coming from you, an expert in the cruise industry. And thank you for the compliment. We appreciate that. And I'm glad that we've been able to put it where you have confidence in us that we'll do it right. So, but that's one thing. You mentioned the guides. That differs a bit for us from other. If you just go on the ship, you can go to the same ports, but when you get off with the guide, if it's not the EO guide, you're going to have a different experience. Absolutely. And you know why you're there for, right? That camaraderie, what you want to see, what you want them to feel, right?
that sense of community that you guys are all there together for a same purpose. There's no one disrupting that, right? So I think it's just something very special. And everyone that goes, especially in your groups, they come back with a bigger sense of purpose, a bigger sense of community. They want to help their churches out more. They want to donate more. They want to do more because they've had this experience together that it's like no other.
Yeah, I so appreciate, to be able to hear from you the understanding of the instance of the guides who focus on the biblical Christian and not just, oh, here's a historic site.
Right.
This is meaning, this is depth.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So now you hinted earlier about some onboard amenities. As we've talked about, we continue to tease everybody that I'm going to be on the Celebrity Apex in a couple of days here. Tell us a little bit more about the latest ships of Celebrity and what's exciting and what's different and the amenities there.
So before I can say just the thing about the Apex, I just want to mention that what makes Celebrity Cruises so special and unique is that we have these 5 pillars of distinction that really sets us apart from everyone else because we really have what travelers want most. And so when it comes to destination delivery, we visit iconic sites and we personalize with you guys local experiences. We have design excellence on our ship, right? We partner up with world-renowned architects that create these wonderful spaces on board that so many industry first, like for example, on board the Apex. It's the first time you'll ever see a magic carpet on the side of a ship. And truly, it's an architectural wonder because depending on where you are, it moves from deck to deck, becoming a different destination. So on the days that it's being tendered, the magic carpet comes down to the first deck and it serves as a platform so that the guests can go into the edge lounges. And then some days it's an extension of a restaurant or a bar. And then in the evening, it becomes an alfresco restaurant called Dinner on the Edge. So truly, I mean, it's something that we have so many industry first, like the Equinox having real grass at sea, the glass blowing show, just a lot of first on board a Celebrity Cruise. When it comes to world-class accommodation, we do it best. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in an interior stateroom or in a suite. We know and we take the charge of having your guests on board very seriously, and we know it's their home away from home. So we want them to be as comfortable as possible. So those of your guests that have traveled on board a Celebrity Cruise before, they'll know when they go on a Solstice class ship, right? As you walk in, the beds are higher off the ground. There's compartment space to put the luggage under. There's a compartment space above the bed that looks like just part of the decoration, but that's actually where I hide my 20 pairs of shoes for my crew. The beds are rounded, right? You don't have to shimmy to the other side of the room. When you go to the bathroom, you don't have to worry about that curtain sticking to your leg, right? You have the rounded shower. So just very intuitive and very comfortable. The beds are super comfortable. And then what can we say about culinary expertise on board our ships? We have a starred chef in Cornelius Gallagher, but now we've partnered with Daniel Boulud, which is a world-renowned chef who has restaurants all over the world. And for the first time, he'll have a restaurant on board our ships. And then last, our 5th pillar is holistic wellness. We partner with Goop, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's beauty line, to bring you the most cutting-edge treatments. I had the most incredible 75-minute massage and facial on my last cruise, and I plan to doing it on this cruise as well. I mean, really, we do it the best. And maybe I'm biased because I love my brand, but yeah, we really do incredible offerings. And so I can't wait to have you come on board and have your group experience this on Saturday. But yes, everything that we do, keeping those 5 pillars in mind, it's really what the clients and what your guests want. And we deliver time and time again.
That's exciting. I was noticing on the Apex that there are 4 dining halls now that are different as expected with just the normal buffet kind of setting.
Correct. So if guests want to do main dining, they'll be assigned to one restaurant. If they want to do second dining, they're assigned to one restaurant. But if they want to do select dining, which means anytime dining, you can visit any of the 4 restaurants. Now, in every restaurant, all of the menus from the other places are available. However, sometimes the decor is so beautiful in every dining room, the Cosmopolitan, Tuscan. They're beautiful. So you can have whatever you like, the noodles from Cosmopolitan here, but it's just where you want to dine. And it really gives you that feel like if you're going to a specialty dining restaurant every night.
That's great. That's great. So, well, you know, we talked about the fact that that many of the excursions and such are included. I mean, on EO trips, on our cruises, especially there. We do have a lot of guest lectures on every cruise, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I mean, those are always included. Our guides, we talked about the fact that they're vetted and focused on Christian biblical aspects of the trip. But other than that, why is cruising such a great value, Joyce?
Because when you do a land package, you have to think about everything that's involved when it comes to expenses, right? You pay for the hotel, then you have to pay for the audio and visual and the AV equipment and your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's everything is itemized, and it can be very costly. But the cruising is such an excellent value because you're just paying for one time, and it's like a packed experience. Everything that you can think of has already been thought out for you, right? Everything has already been organized. If you're tagged with specific travelers and you have 4 cabins or 12 cabins together and you guys are tagged together, you'll be dining together. And you don't have to think about having to pay additional for anything else because you'll already have paid for it once and everything else is taken care of for you. And yes, the speakers are phenomenal. You can go to as many speakings as you want. You can get up early and do the early mass. You can, if you like to sleep in, you can do it later. So, I mean, you just have so many options. And again, you're in this, you're together in the camaraderie that exists on a ship. It's like no other. So I just think it's a wonderful value, especially on board a Celebrity cruise.
Well, great. Thank you, Joyce. We really appreciate that. Anything else you want to share with us today about Celebrity?
About Celebrity, well, we're super excited because we've taken delivery of our brand new ship, the Celebrity Beyond. It's actually going to have its first sailing just coming up at the end of this month. Then we have Ascent that's already in the making, and their first sailing will be in December of next year. So we have so many things going on with Celebrity, so many announcements that we're going to make of our partnerships on board the Beyond. So just, make sure that you guys are tuning in and look us up on YouTube. You could just subscribe to our Celebrity Cruise channel for the most up-to-date information of Celebrity Cruises.
Great. Well, thanks, Joyce. Thanks for all your hard work. We love our partnership with Celebrity. I mean, gosh,
we love you guys too.
Yeah, it's so wonderful, and I'm excited. I'm excited about being on the Apex on Saturday. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that, and I can't wait to see what the ship looks like and get to experience it. So,
absolutely.
Have time with you.
Absolutely. Me the same. So thank you so much for having me. Have a good time. Have a good day, guys.
Well, thanks for being here today. We appreciate it. So we're going to switch over now from Joyce. We're going to go to a Bible Lands promo, a video here. So let's see this video here, Ryan and team.
From Rome to Ephesus, from the Galilee to Athens, from Jerusalem to Corinth, these are Bible Land Cruises presented by Educational Opportunities Tours, where you'll cruise the journeys of Paul, see the stories of the Bible come to life, and fellowship with other believers. Explore the sites central to Jesus' ministry, like Capernaum, the Mount of Beatitudes, and the Sea of Galilee. Discover the paths of your faith on Mars Hill in Athens, through the ruins of Corinth and the theater at Ephesus. Gain a better understanding of the cultures the Apostle Paul would have encountered in Malta, Rome, and Pompeii. Experience the sites central to Christ's Passion along the Via Dolorosa, at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and on the Mount of Olives. Cruise in style aboard award-winning cruise lines such as Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Azamara, featuring delicious cuisine, Broadway-style entertainment, and comfy balcony cabins where you'll only have to unpack once. Listen to exclusive guest speakers talk about the life of Paul and the development of the church during the New Testament. Learn more as our trained and certified guides take you deeper into the history of your faith during included and exclusive shore excursions at most ports of call. Return home with a refreshed faith new perspectives and experiences to share. These are Bible Land Cruises presented by Educational Opportunities Tours. Learn more and register at eo.travel.
Great, thanks. That's a great video. Love that video. And I recognize several of those sites there. We really appreciate that. So now Joyce has told us about the benefits of cruising and why we should choose cruising. We got a couple of folks in the studio this morning who can give us the latest on what we have to offer in 2023, specifically in the Lands of the Bible cruises. So welcome, Amy, Mark.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good to have you guys here with us this morning. So, we have 5 unique categories of Bible Land cruises we're going to talk about today. I was just in Virginia yesterday, guys, meeting with a church that hasn't traveled with us. And we're looking at the offerings in the catalog and stuff. And the pastor said to me, he said, I had no idea that EO offered such a broad spectrum of things. So that was refreshing to hear, and was really pleased with that. But I used to work, most of you know, for Bishop Lindsey Davis here in Kentucky. And no matter what the itinerary that we were going to do on a cruise, he used to tell folks he was going on the Paul Shipwreck Journey cruise. And I kept saying, Bishop, you can't say that. We're on a boat. I mean, please don't say that. So we don't have a Paul Shipwreck Journey cruise itinerary, Amy, that I know of, at least not that way.
No. We don't phrase it that way at all.
Okay, good. So yeah, Mark would fuss at us about that probably. So let's talk about it for a minute. So Amy, what 2023 Journeys of Paul cruises? Let's start out with that Journey of Paul cruise. Tell us a little bit about that itinerary.
This itinerary typically will start in Rome, lets you do Italy, Greece, and Turkey. So you get to do Rome, visit Athens and Corinth, Ephesus, and kind of do the Med area. So I guess it kind of covers all that kind of area where you get to see those sites that Paul would have visited or been at.
Yeah, so and it offers a couple of other sites also there. We have, I think, 5 different departure dates for that one in 23.
We do, and as you were saying, it does offer a couple other sites, so it definitely gives you those typical Greece when you go on a Greek cruise of Santorini and Mykonos, or one or the other, depending on which cruise you have. We're doing some additional like summer dates this for 2023 than we've done in the past. We will typically do 1 May. I think this for 23, we've built up a few more May.
A lot.
We're doing July and August, which we haven't done so much in the past, but we are trying it out in 23 to give people a broader range of dates to be able to travel.
Great. So, well, the itinerary looks pretty awesome there. And Mark, I know we've got some pretty special speakers lined up for that cruise, those cruises.
Yes, we do. We're starting to fill up our speaker roster. So you'll see here we have 1 lined up for the Journeys of Paul right now. Olu Brown is a new speaker with us. He joins us from a large United Methodist Church in Atlanta, where he's currently the lead pastor. He's actually going to be retiring from local church ministry and become a consultant, author, or speaker in the coming years. But I think you'll like Olu, very energetic speaker, and you'll learn a lot from him, and the other speakers will have.
And so I know you're still trying to finalize those, and so we've got Olu's the only one we're prepared to announce, and I know you're working even now on that.
Right. Yeah. We signed on 2 speakers yesterday, so our creative team had to add a couple people to this presentation today real quickly, and we have a couple more we're talking to this week, so we will be filling these up quickly. The speakers usually speak anywhere from 4 to 6 times during the cruise, and so we will have special sessions, and the speakers are for EO guests only, so it's an exclusive opportunity to hear from them, and then you can interact with them throughout the cruise as well. They'll be with on the excursions, and you'll see them at dinner, so it's a great time to get to know them and ask questions if you have that, or just interact with them socially.
And I think as we go throughout the listing of the itineraries here, Mark, people begin to see the diversity of speakers, but speak to that for just a second.
Yes, we try to have a very diverse group, very different church backgrounds. We have academic speakers, so they're professors at seminaries or colleges. We have pastors, active and retired. So it's a big variety of people. Different denominations are represented. So gives you a very diverse look. These are all speakers that we know of. Personally, someone in the staff knows them, has heard them, has interacted with them. And some are new, like Olu is a brand new speaker for EO this year, but has spoken all over the country for other conferences and things like that. And so yes, different points of view. They'll all speak on different topics, usually related to the sites they're going to. So, you know, if you're on a Paul cruise, it'll have something to do with Paul, but it may be about the culture of the Bible times. It may be more about the culture today. It could be archaeology based. Could be a combination. It could be more inspirational themes based on the writings of Paul or the Gospels, depending on where you're traveling. So very diverse group of people and topics that they'll be talking about.
You mentioned there about the writings of Paul or the Gospels, depending on where you're going. So Amy, we do have a Lands of the Bible itinerary. So what's a little bit different and unique about this itinerary?
Well, the Lands of the Bible cruises are exciting because they include the Holy Land. So depending on the itinerary and the ship, the specific example here is the Odyssey, you'll have either 2 or 3 days in the Holy Land. So it will allow you to do Greece, Turkey, so you'll be able to do Corinth and Athens and Ephesus as well as the Holy Land. I always like to refer to this cruise as the sampler platter. So it's a great entryway to, if you have people who are uncertain about, doing a longer trip to the Holy Land or uncertain about the Holy Land, I like to call this cruise the sampler platter because it gets them there in a limited time. People do it and then they're like, oh, that was not enough, I have to go back. So it's a great cruise to do to kind of as an entryway, especially because, if they're concerned about the multiple hotels or being on the bus, it's a great way to introduce these destinations.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and we've got several sailings of this one coming up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Mark, I see that we're pulling up there. We've got George Acevedo on one of these sailings.
Yep, George is from Southwest Florida. He's the first-time speaker for EO, but he's been traveling with his church in EO for many years. So he's taken many groups to the Holy Land. I know he did a sabbatical a few years ago, and we set up his personal travel for 2 or 3 months all over Europe and the Bible lands. So he's been traveling us for a long time. He is also going to be retiring this summer from active local church ministry. And so that frees up some of his time to join us as a speaker this year. So I think you'll enjoy him. He's done a lot of speaking around the United Methodist Church and outside the Methodist Church as well. So another very interesting and engaging speaker that you'll enjoy.
So going back and looking at the itinerary that we were just showing there, Mark, most of the lectures take place on the at-sea days. Is that how that rolls?
Right. On this cruise, on the at-sea days, we will have morning and or afternoon sessions, just depending on the cruise schedule. And so those will be most of the speaking times. If there's a port where we're not going to get to the port till noon or 1 o'clock or something, we might do an early morning speaking time. And then we will try to do a worship time on a Sunday, depending on what is going on that Sunday. So it could end up being Saturday afternoon, could be Monday morning, and so we will try to do a worship time as well, which is a little different from the normal lecture. We try to do communion and just a short worship time for those that want to participate.
I know on one cruise I was on, we did Sunday on Tuesday, so yeah. It's flexible. Flexibility, that's what it's all about. So Amy, go ahead, Mark, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sometimes we can do it in a port So depending on where we are, we might do something short, like in Ephesus, if the time allows and if we can get a quiet spot. So that's also an option in some places, just depending again on the schedule and which port we're in.
Amy, the Apex, we're going to be on the Apex. Joyce and I were just talking about that in the fall.
The passages of the Bible. cruises.
Passages of the Bible, yeah.
This is exciting, simply because for those who have cruised for many, many years or are aware of, the cruise industry, it used to be that cruises would do the Holy Land area with Greece and they used to go to Egypt and then stopped for a very long time. This cruise, the Apex, is returning to stopping in the Port of Alexandria, which is really, really exciting. So you can do Greece, do the Holy Land, and get to do Egypt as well. It's a 2-day stop with an overnight, so you get to do Cairo and the pyramids of Giza, and then you get to do Alexandria. So it's a very exciting itinerary for us for 2023, which we're excited to be able to offer.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really great. I mean, so you've got 2 days in the Holy Land, you've got Athens, you've got Turkey, Ephesus, and then you've got Egypt. I mean, wow, that's really pretty cool.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, and Mark, I see your speakers popping up on screen here. Tell us about David and Bill.
Yep. Actually, I was just typing a message to David. He's on watching us today.
Hi, David.
So David De Silva, he is one of our longtime speakers, has spoke on many different cruises. He travels all over the world every year with EO and actually with someone else we won't mention, but he does a lot of Bible lands tours with groups. So we appreciate David joining us again in 23 on this cruise. This one's also unique in that all the Bible sites and a brand new ship and great speakers. So going to be very unique this time around. And then we have a first-time speaker, Bill Tucker. He is, again, first-time speaker, but long-time traveler. He has taken many groups to the Holy Land with us. Bill is the pastor of Concordia Lutheran Church in San Antonio, a large LCMS church there. And I forgot to mention, David is a professor of New Testament and Greek at Ashland University. And among his other skills, he's a music director. So you may have him singing. I don't know. If you ask him, he'll probably sing on the cruise too, if you want. But Bill is joining us for the first time as speaker. You may have heard of Julie Tucker recently in our webinars. Julie is Bill's wife and is also on staff at the church, but she is working with us on the refugee ministry we're doing in Jerusalem. Part of her job with the LCMS is a disaster response coordinator for the state of Texas and the LCMS. So she's helping us in Jerusalem with serving the refugees there at the Olive Tree. So we're looking forward to having them on the cruise for the first time.
Great. So we're going to switch cruise lines for just a second here, Amy, because we're talking about the Footsteps of Paul and Jesus cruise.
So this is Norwegian now. So we do the cruises with Royal, Celebrity, and we also offer Norwegian Cruise Lines. This one is doing kind of similar to a Lands of the Bible, but a bit more mixed in with the journeys of Paul. So we call it the Footsteps of Paul and Jesus. It gives you Greece once again, which lets you do Corinth and Athens. And there you're doing them kind of at bookends. So we do Corinth at the beginning or at the end of the cruise, so you have a full day, and then Athens as well. And then we get to do Ephesus, but with this cruise, we include a stop in Patmos. So you get to do the island of Patmos, and then you get to do the Holy Land there as well. Obviously, you have a couple of the little destinations like Santorini that get you the typical Greek cruise items, but it has the uniqueness of having Patmos, which some of the other cruises don't offer because the ship size allows it.
And I think Patmos is a evening excursion, which is a little different as well.
It is. It's an afternoon excursion. So with that day, you do the morning in Ephesus and then get back on the ship. For that day, we typically do the meeting right as you come back from Ephesus before you get off for Patmos. So it's great because for that lecture, many of the lecturers will do the transition between the Ephesus to Patmos and be able to talk about both locations on the day that you're there.
That sounds cool, Mark. So who are the lecturers on that cruise?
So we have Mark Zeese joining us in September, and Mark has been with us as a speaker. He's also one of our adjunct professors for the Jerusalem Center for Biblical Studies, which is our academic division. So he is a retired New Testament professor and seminary dean from Johnson University in Tennessee and Florida. His nickname, I shouldn't say his nickname, his online name is the Bible Land Explorer. So since he's retired, he is basically doing travel full time with different groups, churches, students, schools, all over the Bible lands. He's done archaeology, so he'll be joining us. This is his second or third time as a guest speaker. October 6th, we do have a Spanish language speaker, Samuel Pagan, who is on our staff here. He's a retired New Testament professor and seminary administration. So he is going to be leading a Spanish language group on that cruise. So if you are working with Spanish language churches, and they can be English speaking as well, that will be a great cruise for those people, that audience as well.
Great, we appreciate that. One of the things that we were just talking about the passages of the Bible cruise, we didn't highlight the fact that one of those cruises is on the 5th of October in 23, right, Amy, is going to be our Jubilee, a part of our Jubilee celebration.
It is going to be one of our Jubilee celebrations. We're very excited about it because in addition to having that Passages of the Bible cruise that has the Egypt and the Holy Land, we're going to be doing some exclusive Jubilee events on board as well. And have staff and we're working on it, but we've got some special speakers and special event things that are still in the works. We'll hope to announce really soon, but we're going to get that announced.
That's cool to see. I mean, it's going to be on the Apex. It's a Jubilee journey. Loving that new logo there for the Jubilee journey. So, folks, I hope you guys will all make an effort to be a part of that. So, Paul's second and third missionary journey cruises. While we're talking, Amy, go ahead and tell a little bit about that.
These are slightly different. It includes the stop at Thessaloniki, which the other cruises don't. And, I'll be honest, I defer to you, Tom, as a pastor. I always know all the sites that Paul visited. I'm not as certain about the timeline. So I defer to all of those pastors out there on the timeline, so I can't speak to that. But this one also has the stop in Rhodes, which was, I do know, an overnight stop for Paul, or a quick stop for Paul. But it has Thessaloniki built in, and then this cruise is doing Hydra, which we haven't done for a number of years as well.
Yeah, I've not been to Hydra. I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. So Mark, I see we've got Jeff Kola as one of our speakers there.
Yep, Jeff Kloha is a new speaker again for us. Jeff is currently the Chief Curatorial Officer for the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. He's also a New Testament scholar and actually started out as a local church pastor with an LCMS church. And I know our DTM David Bugler worked with him when he was in the local church up in Ohio. So we have some people that know him. Jeff has been with the Museum of the Bible for a number of years since they opened. And Tom met him last week actually up in Washington, D.C. Then the other speaker we have lined up right now is Caroline Lewis. She's a New Testament expert, and she is the chair of biblical preaching at Luther Seminary up in Minneapolis. Some of you may recognize her if you've been to the Festival of Homiletics. She is the director of the Festival of Homiletics, which actually is coming up in just about 3 weeks. This year it's in Denver. So Caroline, this is her second cruise with us, and So again, great speakers, a lot of background and content. You'll want to kind of pick their brains, I think, if you're on the cruise with them.
Great. Yeah. Well, you mentioned I was just at the Museum of the Bible, Mark, and it was great. Got to talk with Jeff for quite a while. Really exciting guy. And in the 2.5, 3 hours we were together, he pointed out two things. I'm thinking, doggone, if I were still pastoring, if I were still preaching regularly, I could do that in a sermon. I like that. There's some really good nuggets there that I could pull out. So I think folks will really, really like Jeff. So Voyages of Paul, 2023 Voyages of Paul cruises. Amy?
The Voyages of Paul are a little unique simply because they've got our traditional Turkey, Greece, Athens, Corinth, Ephesus, but we've got 2 Voyages of Paul. The first is about to come up on the screen. What's different is these cruises allow you to stop in Dubrovnik in Croatia, which is different for EO. We've not really done cruises that have that destination in the past. So there have a few unique ports that are not typically ones we do. So we're excited to offer something a little different than we would have in the past.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I see Matt Rawl is going to be speaking on one of those cruises there, Mark.
Yep, and I think you'll get something a little bit different from Matt. He's a United Methodist pastor down in Louisiana. He's another one. He has his divinity degree from Duke, but he also has a music degree from LSU, so he's a musician. He's written a lot of different books, and he likes to, when he's speaking and writing, work in a lot of old stories and things that are maybe a little bit tied to pop culture. So his books have weaved in things like Scrooge, The Grinch, Doctor Who, Les Miserables. So those are things that he weaves into his Christian messages and inspirations. So I'd be very interested to see what he does when he's on the ship, how he weaves that in with Paul and his lectures to our groups.
I had the opportunity to have lunch with Matt pre-COVID down in Louisiana, and we were talking about the potential of him getting to do this someday and his willingness to do that. And just such a fun guy to be with. I mean, I think folks are really, really going to enjoy Matt a lot. So thanks. Thank you, Mark, Amy. Mark, Amy, either one.
We got one more.
Availability. What?
We have the second Voyages of Paul cruise.
Oh, I forgot. How could I forget Ben Witherington? Ben, I'm sorry if you're watching today.
It's going to be Matt.
My hand.
Well, and this one is a little longer, so it has the Dubrovnik and the Montenegro, so it's even a little more unique than the other one. It's a little bit longer. It's a 12-night cruise, and then the speaker is?
Ben Witherington, New Testament scholar at Asbury, well known as a scholar, well known around United Methodist circles. He will bring a unique approach to everything he does. He's a fascinating to sit down and talk to. He's written over 50 books, but he's written very academic books. He's written books more for the church. He's written fiction books as well, Christian fiction books. So his brain works in all kinds of different directions. So I think you'll enjoy him as well.
Yeah, I was on a cruise with Ben and his lovely wife Ann, and I said, Ben, let's go to dinner. I'll take you to dinner. Where are you gonna go? He chose the sushi restaurant on the ship, and I said, oh, of all the places, sushi. I'm not a sushi fan, but it was great. I found something sushi I liked. So he was smiling. He was giving me a hard time. Told you you'd like it, Tom. So
yep,
great guy. So last minute availability of the 2022 trips. Anything we want to highlight real quickly?
We still have space available on our fall cruises this year. We have some Lands of the Bible with a good amount of space still available if you have a new group or want to add to it. We're excited. We're excited to be back cruising kind of full time now. It's so exciting.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. Yeah. So, well, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate all the information you'll be able to share with us. As I mentioned earlier, everyone, James has just arrived in Europe, and he has a brief word for us here that came in just a bit ago here via video. So let's hear from James.
Thanks, Tom, and greetings, everyone. It's a gorgeous day here in Innsbruck, and I'm standing in front of the Nordkhed Mountains, and we've talked a lot about that. If you're traveling with us to Oberammergau, it's one of our optional excursions when you're here in Innsbruck. And I'm here with a lead team from our staff. We'll have 7 staff located just here in the Innsbruck area to take care of all of our guests coming this summer to the Oberammergau Passion Play. Tom, I will also tell you I enjoyed flying maskless yesterday up to Newark, and then flew maskless internationally on United to Munich, and did have to wear a mask in the airport and on the train here to Innsbruck. But other than that, everything is normal here from everything I can see, having been in Innsbruck many times. A lot of people out having lunch under the golden roof, and all over Innsbruck. So a gorgeous day here. We're getting ready for you. It's we're only less than a month away from opening night, and I'm going to a dress rehearsal on April 30th. So really looking forward to that. So we're almost here. Back to you.
So thanks, James. Thank you. Appreciate that. So he looks pretty good, guys, doesn't he, for somebody who just flew overnight and shot on the spur of the moment. So, yeah. Well, I think that tomorrow, or actually today and tomorrow, Amy, you and Ashley are having pre-Oberammergau Zoom calls.
Zoom calls. We will be having, the cruise ones are today, so I will be having Zoom calls today for the Oberammergau Passion Play River Cruises that we'll be doing, and then we'll be doing one for the Mediterranean with the Passion Play. We'll be going over some information, current information on requirements for country entries and health forms and things of that sort. We'll go over what to expect, and obviously we'll be updating regularly depending on departure dates, but we start those calls today.
Okay, great. Thank you. We appreciate that. And I know everybody finds those so helpful. We really appreciate you and Ashley taking the time to do that and give people the most answering their questions before they get their questions.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, questions they may not even know they have. So real quickly, folks, I want to go through some of our FAMs that are coming up. As you all know, our familiarization trips and our specials. We do have one that we're doing for a river cruise. We have a Danube FAM that is June the 6th through the 14th. So please look that one up there. That's something we're doing. We had a couple of cabins left we want to get rid of. We want to sell. We want to get you an opportunity to. Let me find a good way to phrase that I don't get myself in trouble. And I've already failed miserably at that. So, but check, laugh at me now, Amy, okay? We have our annual Holy Land FAM that's coming up in January. You can see that there on the screen. Our Jesus Walking Trail FAM, we're still taking registrations for that in September of this year, and also with the Camino that will be coming up nearly the same time. Our England and Wesley FAM, folks, we haven't done that one in a while. You should jump all over that. That's a great trip, and look forward to seeing everybody there. We're going back to Greece in November for our FAM there. We're going to go into Thessaloniki first, which is where Paul landed, and come down to the south. And just having done that one a few months ago, I know that you will enjoy that a lot. The team there, look forward to being with you. Spain and Portugal, we only have 10 rooms available, okay? 10 rooms for this FAM. So if you want to be a part of this one, you need to make sure, sign up now. So do that. Turkey, also in November, we're gonna have a busy November and October there of different FAM trips, because that seems to be a good time for those. And you'll love Turkey. The folks there are so gracious and welcoming, and just enjoyed it so much when I was there. Cappadocia and the fairy chimneys and stuff, but the underground churches and all the early church history there from Constantinople, Istanbul is just marvelous. So take advantage of that opportunity to do that. We're doing a brand new FAM for Jordan. We've not done this one before, so we're excited about that. It should be online by the end of the week. that you can register for. So you can see there the different places we'll be going in the itinerary. This is something that's brand new, and it's going to be a really inexpensive trip for you to get that done. And I think that it lays out, if I'm correct, that if you wanted, you could have a host that you're recruiting, if you're a DTM or another host who wants to get one of your pastor friends to sign up as a host, could do Turkey and the Holy Land back to back. So that, I mean, Jordan and the Holy Land back to back there. So, and then just over a year from now, we'll be going to Egypt for our fam there. So you got a bit of time to plan those things. So we've got lots of opportunities for you to go, as you know, for our familiarization trips, normally called fam trips. We hope that you'll be able to go, experience it, come back and recruit a group, and then get reimbursed for taking all your folks. So it's a great opportunity, a great way to do that. So we want to thank Joyce for being with us today, J-Lo. We really appreciate that. For Mark, Amy, appreciate you being here with us and helping out there. For everybody, Alyssa and Mark Boston, who've been watching the chat line, and we appreciate all that they've done there to keep that going. And Ryan, John, Shelby, all the team who made it happen. But mostly we want to thank you guys, all of you who join in and watch us so faithfully. It's really cool to be traveling and people say, Tom, I haven't met you, but I've seen you on the webinar, and how much that they've enjoyed that. So thanks. We hope to see you somewhere in Journey soon. Our next webinar will be on May 10th. So be watching for information coming